1/11 update, all 7 of the Cubs who were eligible for salary arbitration signed 2019 contracts today. Kris Bryant $12.9 million, Kyle Hendricks $7.405 million, Javier Baez $5.2 million, Addison Russell $3.4 million plus $600,000 roster bonus, see note below, Kyle Schwarber $3.39 million, Mike Montgomery $2.44 million, Carl Edwards $1.5 million, Super 2, note, Addison Russell will forfeit salary, about $18,280 per day, for however many days of the 2019 MLB regular season he spends on the Cubs MLB Restricted List while serving the remaining 29 games of his 40-game MLB PAJDB suspension. If there are no rainouts, Russell will be eligible to be reinstated to the Cubs MLB Reserve List, 40-man roster, and MLB Active List, 25-man roster, on Thursday, May 2nd, which is an off day, and his first game back would be Friday, May 3rd versus STL at Wrigley Field, meaning he would forfeit at least 35 days' pay, or about $640,000. Prior to being reinstated, Russell can spend up to 12 days unpaid, but he will receive MLB meal money and other benefits on a minor league conditioning assignment, probably at AAA Iowa beginning on 4/20, and he will be able to participate in spring training, but cannot play in MLB Cactus League games and extended spring training without pay prior to starting his minor league conditioning assignment. The $600,000 roster bonus will effectively allow Russell to make back most of the salary he will forfeit while suspended, and it is based upon days spent on the Cubs MLB Reserve List or 60-day DL, $100,000. If at least 30 days, another $100,000. If at least 60 days, another $100,000. If at least 90 days, another $100,000. If at least 120 days, and the remaining $200,000 if at least 150 days. Since the 2019 MLB regular season is 186 days in length and there is no way the Cubs can play their first 29 scheduled games in fewer than 35 days, Russell will have to be reinstated from the restricted list as soon as he is eligible to be reinstated in order to earn the final $200,000 and get the entire $600,000, 1/8 original post. The MLB salary arbitration process begins today, with the MLBPA delivering requests for salary arbitration to the MLB Labor Relations Department, and then the MLBLRD forwards the requests received from the MLBPA to the individual clubs. The MLBPA, representing the players requesting salary arbitration, and the MLBLRD, representing the clubs who have received the requests, will exchange salary figures on Friday, and then the MLBPA and the MLBLRD will schedule arbitration hearings to be held during the first 3 weeks of February. MLB salary arbitration, an unsigned player under club control who has accrued at least 3 but less than 6 years of MLB service time is automatically eligible for salary arbitration. Also, any unsigned player with at least 2 years but less than 3 years of MLB service time who accrued at least 86 days of MLB service time during the previous season can qualify for salary arbitration as a so-called Super 2, if the player is among the top 22% in MLB service time of players in that group. Note, the Super 2 cutoff for 2019 post-2018 is 2/134 MLB service time. Cubs salary arbitration eligible players, last updated November 30, 2018. Javier Baez, INF Kris Bryant, INF Carl Edwards Jr., RHP, Super 2, Kyle Hendricks, RHP Mike Montgomery, LHP. Addison Russell, INF Kyle Schwarber. If a club and a player eligible for salary arbitration cannot agree on a contract, the player can request the Major League Baseball Players Association, MLBPA, to file for salary arbitration. The MLBPA is responsible for delivering all requests for salary arbitration to the MLB Labor Relations Department, MLBLRD, on the Tuesday immediately prior to the Friday that falls during the week January 10 to 16. Once salary arbitration has been requested, the player submits his desired salary to the MLBPA, the club submits its salary offer to the MLBLRD, and the MLBPA and MLBLRD exchange the two figures on the Friday that falls during the week January 10 to 16. The MLBPA and MLBLRD then schedule a hearing with a 3-person arbitration panel. Hearings are held on various dates during the first 3 weeks of February. Club's offer must be at least the MLB minimum salary, and, in most cases, must be at least 80% of the player's previous year's salary and at least 70% of the player's salary from 2 seasons back. However, if the player received a raise in excess of 50% by a salary arbitration panel the previous season, a 20% maximum salary reduction from the previous season and a 30% maximum salary reduction from 2 seasons back does not apply, and the club only has to offer at least the MLB minimum salary. After arbitration has been requested, the player and the club can continue to negotiate back. And in fact this frequently happens, as the player and the club will often agree to just split the difference, something the panel cannot do. If the matter does go to a hearing, the arbitration panel must choose either the club's offer or the player's figure, and win or lose, the player is awarded a standard 1-year MLB contract with no minor league split, salary or incentive, performance bonuses. Also, the contract is not guaranteed, so if the player is released during spring training, the club would only owe the player 30 days or 45 days salary as termination pay, depending on when the player is released. A player on an MLB reserve list signed to a non-guaranteed contract who is released more than 15 days prior to opening day receives 30 days salary as termination pay. A player on an MLB reserve list signed to a non-guaranteed contract who is released 15 or fewer days prior to opening day receives 45 days salary as termination pay, and a player on an MLB reserve list who is released during the MLB regular season receives 100% of his salary as termination pay. Note, the MLBPA is very sensitive about salary arbitration, so if a player is awarded a contract by an arbitration panel and then is subsequently released by his club prior to or during spring training, the MLBPA will almost always file a grievance on behalf of the player, claiming the player was released for economic reasons only, which is not permitted, and asking that the released player receive 100% of his salary as termination pay. In that situation, a club would have to show, by submitting official spring training game stats, that the released player was outperformed in spring training games by another player, or players, competing for that roster spot.